Hi folks, John with the Wingman 115 channel. Thank you so much for checking in. I am so excited to do this knife review today. You cannot imagine how just freaky crazy excited I am. Today we're gonna be talking about, okay, I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek. Boom! The Tops Steel Eagle Delta. Now, you're saying, John, the Steel Eagle has been around since 1998, and yeah, it's coming up on the 20th anniversary, just unbelievable. But when I was at SHOT 2017, had a chance to do a booth review with Craig Powell over there at Tops, and I noticed this knife on the table, and I said, Craig, is this a new design? He goes, John, this is Steel Eagle. This was the knife that basically started the business for Tops. I'm like, shut the front door. I go, what did you guys do different? He goes, we did a acid wash and we Cerakoted it. And I said, man, you guys really made that knife pop. It really looks cool. So when it was released, I just had to get a knife to showcase for you guys out there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut away. We're gonna go over to the tabletop. We're gonna do a quick specs rundown. We're gonna get up close and personal with this blade, show you all the goodies. And then we'll do some practical application out here in the woods, the best that we can. And then we'll come back and then we'll give you some thoughts on this honking piece of steel. So come along and join me, folks. It starts now. I know how much you folks love me to Bataan. So I found the gnarliest tree limb I could find. Hopefully my Bataan holds up. Let's see if we can do this without it breaking. My Bataan broke already. Not bad. Let's see if I can get this side. Get a bite on here. Let's try this. My Bataan sucks. Let's try this. If you folks saw just how burned out, I'm going to show you here in a minute, desolate this area is, so I can't find anything good, but it Bataan through that limb pretty darn good. We're going to take it over to one of these janky trees and we're just going to go crazy with this blade. This gives you an idea of the wood that I'm dealing with for this review. I don't want to cut into any live trees out here. One, is just wrong, and two, they're just struggling to live, but we're doing the best we can with what we have. Let's see how well the Steel Eagle Delta can chop into this dead log that's been here a while. Now I'm going to be trying to use what I call the backseat grip. See how there's an upsweep on the pommel? Let's see how well. Man, this stuff is hard. Almost petrified. It is tough. Let's see if we can't clean some of that out. So we're making a little lean-to, and we gotta make a little dovetail to feed another log in to help secure our shelter. Let's see how well the saw does. cleaning up. I'm doing like a diagonal cut to help clean it up. That's one trick I learned from a friend of mine. So I've been out here playing around, just chopping and stuff, and I brought a coconut to do a chop test with, and I thought I would chop up a little bit of coconut here with the Steel Eagle. One, I just want to see how the edge retention is going to work on this knife after I'm done hacking and slashing with it. Just nice clean cut. Here, let's see, let's put it like that. Look at that, just nice clean cut on there. Let's find another piece of shell. Let's check out the edge here real quick since we've been playing around. Just nice, just awesome heat treat by Tops. Say we had to do some pommel strikes. We're out here, survival situation. Say I had to break something down for some tinder, or say we had acorns. We were gonna make some food out of the acorns that we gathered. There's oak trees all over the place out here. Let's see how well this pommel is gonna work on this. And these are Coulter Pinecones. People ask me all the time. These things are huge, and they're also very sharp. It's about the only time you ever see me wear gloves. It's when I deal with these, because they will just tear you up. So, say we had to break this down into some really fine tinder. Go. Not a problem at all with that. Next, let's do the saw test. Now, Tops prides themselves on their saws actually work. I've tested numerous blades where the sawbacks just do not work. There's folks out there that are either going to love them on the spine of a blade or they're going to hate them. I don't mind them. There's always something that needs to be scored or sawed, and you might not have your Baco around with you or your silky saw, and you might have to cut through something. Now, this isn't going to replace that, but if you're making traps, you got to notch something out. Check that out. And that was with minimal effort. So the saws on here actually work. The next thing I'm going to do is tip test this blade. Now, I don't recommend you doing this at home, but a lot of folks are going to ask about the durability of the tip on this blade. And Tops prides themselves by differentially heat treating their blades. So the cutting edge is going to be a little bit harder than the midsection of this knife. Gives it just enough strength and just enough give to where you're not going to snap this blade. And I mean, I've been following Tops for a lot of years, and I've never heard of them ever having a problem with their knives holding up. So let's get it started. Now, when I came up today, my bushcraft table, I usually lay on the ground, and a coyote left a big old dookie on my table. So guess what? I'll be out here doing a little coyote hunting here real soon. Because nobody dookies on Wingman's table. So, durability test. I think the tip passed the test. Let's try a little bit of light chopping. Say we had to make a tent stake. Let me use the other end. We had to bring this down a little bit. don't think there's any problem with its ability to chop. Great chopper. And the way I'm holding my hand, I have 3 fingers, my pinky's on the back, so I had a nice pendulum and my hand locked in there really well so I could just get a good swinging motion, just felt natural. And the jimping on the top was just enough, not overly aggressive, that just held my hand nice and secure. So just a nice pendulum chopper. Let's see here. With just minimal effort. That's the advantage of a big knife. Now some final thoughts on the Tops Steel Eagle 107C. This is the Delta. And I must say, first off, before we even get into this final thoughts, Tops, you outdid yourself. When I was at SHOT, like I said in my intro, I was looking at the table. I thought that you guys had a brand new knife design on the table. And that's just a testament to the creativity that you guys have over there at Tops. Hats off to you. Let's dive into the final thoughts here real quick, because I'm gonna get all mushy and start rambling. First off, Kydex sheath. Taco works really well. Has just a little bit of shake, nothing that a little bit of heat wouldn't fix on that, but it's very secure. Pops in there really nice. Has the spring steel belt clip that'll rotate 360. Not bad at all. Let's talk about the knife. 1095 high carbon steel. Tops, they own the market on being able to heat treat and produce just bomb-proof 1095 high carbon steel blades. Like I said earlier in the intro, an acid rain finish on here just looks beautiful. That's what made me think that this knife was a brand new design, because I'd never seen a Steel Eagle without the traction coating on there and a clear Cerakote, which they've been using for a while now. On my Tops Tahoma, which I use all the time, the Cerakote is holding up really good on that blade. Tops does a saber grind. I happen to like a saber grind on a blade, personal preference, but it just is just a cutting machine. The saw, what can I say about the saw? You saw what you saw, right? It just went right through that tree limb, no problem. And then when I was over there at the tree stump, leveling it off a little bit, and that's why I said somebody taught me that little trick of just kind of cross-cut it across like that to flatten out any piece of wood or material that you need to flatten out. Works very well. Anchor points on here, 1, 2, 3. You can lash that to a pole. Now you have a spear in case of an emergency. Linen Micarta scales, and check this out. I just love the liners. Black and red liners. It just makes it pop. Just beautiful. Get my ugly face out of the screen right there for a moment. Pommel, very aggressive. Went through that Coulter Pinecone like it was nothing. I would recommend putting a lanyard on that for chopping. My hand felt really secure, but just for safety's sake, just a little public service announcement, put a lanyard on your blades, and that way you don't drop it and lose it, and then you're out of luck, especially if it's in the water, you're ice fishing, whatever. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to this guy. So put a lanyard on your blades, enough said. Choil, I love the choil, especially on these Tops blades. It gets right up close and personal for that fine detail work. Batoned really well. The jimping on the top, not too overly aggressive, didn't hurt my hand. And I don't wear gloves when I'm out here except when I'm playing around with these Coulter Pinecones, because then it just tears out the palm of your hand. But the knife just felt really well. Now, people are gonna tear me up in the comments that, John, this isn't a bushcraft knife. You're out there in the woods. This is a knife killing machine, da 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 da. Yeah, you're right. What can I say? But what? I'm not in the combat zone, and it's not the zombie apocalypse yet. So I can only work with what I have. And what I have, this is a very capable survival woods knife. Just bomb-proof, 1/4-inch piece of steel. But the way that they milled it, especially putting the bloodlines in, takes out a little bit of weight. But the knife just feels really well in the hand. And the radius on the handles is just perfect to where I didn't have any hot spots at all. And there's my palm. I've been playing around all day in the woods with this blade and just working like a champ. So you folks probably want to know how I'm going to rate this blade. Well, you already know. Why do I even do this? Because 0 are 1 to 5 stars, 1 being a dumper, 5 being a grand slam. This is their very first design that they ever came out with, and 20 years later, it's still going strong. That's 5 stars, just right there. Comes in 9 different models, has tanto point, has longer, shorter. I mean, you're only limited by your imagination. So if you like this design, but maybe want something a little bit different, go on the Tops website, 9 different models to choose from. This design is like a Timex. It takes a licking and keeps on ticking. 20 years later, I thought it was a brand new knife and shot. Awesome job, Tops. Grand slam, Katie barred the door. You hit the ball out of the park. Folks, let me know in the comments below what you think. If you are a Steel Eagle owner, let your voice be heard. Let me know what your thoughts are on this knife. I love it. So at this point, if you are not a subscriber, what are you doing? Click that button, subscribe, baby. Be part of the action. Like it and share it with all your family and friends. This helps the channel like you wouldn't believe. Help us grow for 2018 because we are going places. Folks, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Now I got to get out in the woods and play around with this a little bit more. Take care.